Hi everyone, my name is Brian and I'm the 3D print creator. In this episode I'm going to show you how I make a holder for this piece I have here. This is a passport, a ColorChecker Passport, and this is a device that is used if you work with cameras that can record RAW, and then you can color check your recordings so you know your recordings look nice and right. So I'm going to make a holder for this thing so I can use it on various manners. So at first we have to measure our card here, and the way we do it is by just taking some calipers and measuring the size of this card, which is 125.3. And thickness which is 6.1. And this is basically all we need to make a stand so that we can use this. And now we are going to our 123D design here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a block here, from here, and this block has to be 150. No, I make a mistake. It has to be 20 by 150 millimeters. So this is my first block I'm starting out with. And then when we have this block, we're going to shape things in it so we can work with it. So in this block, we have to make a new block, which is a hole which has to be centered in the middle. And this new block has to have the exact dimensions. So I sketch a new rectangle, I do it here, just for the ease of it. And it has to be 126. So I like to have a little bit of space so it can move around freely, by 6.5. And now I'm going to replace this block so it fits somewhere here in the middle, and you see it snaps to that center point. So here it snaps, and this is the exact center. And also here it snaps to the exact center, which is here. So now we have the measurements set, and of course we also want this to be able to stand on a desk. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a triangle out of it from here, this point, and well, this is the center point. So let's go all the way up here at 100, and from there go back to here, and then something like this. So basically now what we can do is we can make this in extrude mode and create a solid out of it, which is, well, let's say it's 8 millimeters high. It must be more than enough. Now we can go to this part here, the bottom part. Do it on different ways. For now I'm going to hide my solids, so I can grab this sketch here and I'm going to move it upwards 8 millimeters. I'm doing this very slow. Normally I work a little faster, but I'm doing this really slow so I can show you what I'm doing. Now I'm also going to rotate this mesh, or this, it's not a mesh, it's a sketch. I'm going to rotate it a little bit so it's a little bit in an angle. So again, I'm choosing this one, and now I choose to rotate it 25 or 30 degrees. Let's say 30 degrees. So that's my rotation now. And with this rotated, I can again show my solids. And you see my solid is here. And here we have a sketch halfway down the solid. This is exactly what I want. Because now I can take this solid and I can extrude it upwards like this. And here we have this hole we created. And now the exact same thing can be done the other way around. Like this. We go 4 millimeters in, and you can see you won't hit anything because you see in the hollow sides you can see what's happening. And again, we have taken some material out of the solid. Now we can hide this one if we don't want to see it anymore. And basically what we have here is a stand which is already good. But now I want to make it a little bit nicer. And the way to do that is by chamfering the edges. Because the less material I use, the nicer this thing will be. And I'm also going to chamfer the other edges. So it just looks a little bit nicer. And this basically is all there is to do to create this nice part. So now I've created this part, and well, actually it's finished. This is usable and we can do everything with it, except I don't like those sharp points here, so I'm going to make it round. Just because I don't like sharp points. I want to take a look from the top side how it looks. This way it's a bit nicer. And also I have to take this part and bring it down so it's a bit nicer, just to make it nice. Now also we can take this part and this part, bring it a little in. The fun thing is that when doing this, every time you do a thing like this, you save material. You don't use that much material, so it's great to do it this way, because the less material you use, the faster your print will print. And then there was another thing I was curious about, because this one, this is the part, and it's a little bit rounded on the edges, and I want to know how round it is. And this is a great little tool to tell you exactly how round it is, and this is a circle with a diameter of 7 millimeters. So at 7 millimeters, this is nice. That means that I can again go to the inside here, but now I choose this here, this here, and oh, I made a mistake. I have to say what I'm going to do with it, so choose this and this, and now there is this arrow, so I can select it, and I can say I want to make the round 7 millimeters. So now it should be exactly the same size. And I'm going to try it out now. Currently I've lost my signal. Just don't know why I lost my signal, but as I saw the audio was coming in, the video stopped. But you saw what I did with the part. So this part is now finished, and I'm going to want to 3D design, and I'm going to export it as an STL file. The stupid thing is that with the screen recorder I'm using, it's OBS, Open Broadcaster software, you can't see the layers that are on my software. So you can't see that now I'm choosing for a medium course for the tessellation settings, and I'm exporting it as an STL file. This is done, and we can go to the STL file from the printing software, the slicer, and then see what the slicer can do with this file. So here we are in Simplified 3D, and in Simplified 3D I have imported my STL file I created, and we're going to set the settings for this file. Well, at first let me set my layer height, and layer height has to be on this printer what I'm using now, the Vinci Pro printer. It has to be set at 120. First layer width as well, and the first layer speed is 30% of the maximum speed I'm going to use. I'm going to use 4 bottom layers, 3 top layers, and also 3 outline perimeters. I'm going to print from the inside out, so the print will look as nice as possible. As addition, I'm going to use a raft as well as a skirt. This is because my print bed is not completely flat, otherwise I would have left the raft. But in this case I do need the raft, because otherwise my first layer won't be that nice. Then at the infill part, I'm going to choose an infill percentage of 20%, but I'm not going to use the fast honeycomb, but the triangular settings. And further on I will go to other here, and here I can set my printer speed, and this print is pretty straightforward, so I can print it at 60 millimeters a second, because that's the maximum speed the printer will reach. But Simplify 3D is controlling the speed, so at the difficult parts it won't be at 60 millimeters a second. When this is set, and also my temperatures are of course set right, then we go to the OK settings and we say prepare to print. And here we can see what the movement speeds will be. And if we go and take a look at it, you can see that my first layer will be printed at only 4.5 millimeters a second. Then after that, the printer will speed up and will actually reach 60 millimeters a second here at this part. Then it goes up and up and up, and then it will slow down. And it will slow down to only 30 millimeters a second. And after that, it will go to 48 millimeters a second, and this will continue, and only the infill structures will be printed at high speed. So now you can see that Simplify 3D is actually determining where it will use several speeds. And you can see that the outlines of this print are printed slower than the insides. And when the top layer is printed, the printer will also slow down again until it reaches the real top layer at only 40 millimeters a second. I think this is a great speed. This will work fine. So this is what I'm going to send to my printer. Turn the printer on, and then I will make sure the camera points to the printer, and now you can see what happens next. So here you can see the inside of my printer, at least it's a small part of it, because this is my time-lapse camera I'm using to record the inside of the printer. And it's now going to make a time-lapse. So I'm going to start the time-lapse recording now. And this is busy, and now it will take one frame every 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds there will be one frame recorded. And now I'm going to start the print. And as you can see, it's now uploading the file towards my printer. In the right hand corner you can see it's uploading, and on the build plate you can see it's building the file. So you have direct control of what's happening. So here you see the estimation of the time. Funny thing is that the estimation is, well, it's rubbish. As you can see here, we're at 4%, and it says 10 minutes have passed, and 4 hours and 1 minute have to pass before this print is done. As you will see, this will go down very, very quickly, because this print will take, I think, 2.5 hours. And here you can see the camera mount I made. It's a fairly simple camera mount, and I use a Rolei camera for it, a Rolei 420, because it makes excellent stills, and also it can do 1 frame a second, or 1 frame every 3 seconds, or 1 frame every 5 seconds, so you can create fabulous time lapses out of it. And the reason I choose for this camera, the main reason, is that when printing ABS, you can get a very hot print chamber, so everything inside the printer can get very hot. When using a GoPro, for example, you will have the problem that the GoPro will get very hot as well, and you can't print with a GoPro without the battery. So you have to get the battery very hot as well. And well, those GoPro batteries don't like it. In this camera, you can run it without a battery. So when the USB connection is set to the camera, you can see that at the left side there is a USB connection made, then you can actually use this camera on the power source. And yeah, I can use it for as long as I want. I can run it for 20 hours, 40 hours, 80 hours, it doesn't matter. So the print bed is now down, and now I can try to remove the object from the build plate. And as you can see, it wasn't difficult at all. So this is the print that came off the print bed. And let's take a look how it peels off. More difficult to remove, so probably the temperature was set a little too high, and then everything started melting in each other. Just by using a little sandpaper most of the time. You can get rid of those parts. But what we want to know is, does it fit? And yes, it fits. So this is why we made it, to fit this part here, so we can use it to color correct videos. And it fits perfect. Put it in and it stays here. So I think this mission is accomplished. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel, because every Thursday there will be a new video on 3D printing. I'd like to see you back next Thursday. Thanks for watching.